when you guys played, you guys had followed, you'd gone down into a sewer system and you had found the person who you were looking for with the coin. You left him under questionable, capital Q, circumstances, deciding to head up top and either get lunch or maybe swing by the market square on your way by to maybe cash in another soul. You're not really sure yet. Akiko, with her rage at not getting to smash the Rogue King wearing off, started having some questionable thoughts, again, capital Q, about the situation that you guys left that person in. And that was kind of where we had left off. So, what are you guys doing?
Well, we were gonna head to the
town center, right?
Yeah, where that Rhinelander woman is supposed to be.
Rolf von Stein?
Yeah.
The simple man, or he was simple. Something happened there.
Now, she did tell you that that wasn't, as far as she knew, that wasn't his name, but he is the only Rhinelander, basically, that is in the area, and with von Stein being a pretty Rhinelanderish name, you guys decided to check up on it.
Okay. Oh.
Just in case, because we're all Rhinelanders know each other.
Yeah.
Safe assumption.
Well, Rhinelanders are a bit like our Germans, where they are tall, muscular, blonde-haired, pale-skinned, blue-eyed folk, which definitely stands out from the dark-haired, dark-skinned, dark-eyed people of this locale.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of Italians, yeah.
Yeah, so the Rhinelander at the square is not Rolf von Stein. Rolf is our target. So just in case you...
Yep. I just have like half notes.
Quill was distracted. It was wet, there was a sewer.
I stuck to the walls for a reason.
Yeah.
Other things stick to the walls and sewers too.
Oh, that's shitty.
It wasn't what your feet were in.
But
So Akiko will walk back up to the group after leaving a cart behind with some various bits of meats on sticks, and just kind of hand out food.
Thank you.
with your sewage-covered hands, that would be
No,
so
we cleaned up.
tasty.
Yeah.
Oh, you cleaned up.
One of the things we did at the end of the last session.
Soon as we got out of there, prestidigitation.
Oh, yeah.
No more disgustingness
That's an amazing spell.
that I need to remember to use more often.
But I hand out meats on a stick, and I'm like, so, she's probably gonna kill that guy.
He made some pretty poor choices, that's for sure.
Oh, what choices was that?
The murder of his wife/girlfriend.
Quill
Oh,
starts
you-
awkwardly eating.
You have evidence that he did that?
The coin.
Check the box.
That doesn't mean anything. That was his soul, not her. I mean, we proved that it was his soul, not her soul. I mean, when it touched him, it went back to him. As far as we know, he didn't do anything to his wife.
Well, he didn't directly do it, but my understanding of the pact is that his source of art wasn't that of joy, it was one of sorrow. So her being killed would provide him with the source of art that he wanted, but ultimately it cost him. And it makes sense from what I understand how anyone who makes a deal with demons, devils, and the like, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to twist your words on you.
Says the Warlock.
Irrelevant.
Or
I'm not that kind of warlock.
having experience with though I guess yours is not one you made yourself. It's
Well, like I discovered.
Well, I guess if you guys are okay with it, but
I mean
That's not so
not
much.
I figure we should at least look at it the way it really is. We left a guy to die without knowing whether or not he was guilty. Alright, let's go see if we can find Rolf.
and there wasn't much we could do, and I don't know about you, but I don't think we could have taken all of them in there.
Just kind of flex. We could have taken him.
Of anyone in the party, like.
Right. I was about to say, I don't think Akiko's the one to suggest, do you think you can handle this? The answer will never be no.
I can always handle this. So where are we going?
I believe we're headed towards the
There's a town square where there's someone from Rhineland who does grunt work, basically, and we're hoping that he might know something about who we're looking for.
Yeah.
It is.
Menial tasks, moving boxes from one place to another, picking things up and putting them down again.
It's important work.
At this point, as it usually is, it is, or at least as far as it usually is, since you guys have come to town, it is raining. But even still, as you guys come into the square, you can see that there are around this large center fountain. It basically has like a centerpiece that comes up, and the water like pours down out of the top part, and it's a fairly wide basin with a big tall lip at the edge of it. It's probably only about a foot or so deep.
So it's one of
in the
those, it's
actual
like
basin.
a series of like bird bath type
Yeah,
things.
basically where the water pours down in
Nice.
different tiers. But it's got a couple of different women that are around it, and they're doing the chores. There's a couple of gentlemen there too, and they're clearly either servants or definitely of a lower class, you could say. They're doing their laundry in the fountain square, and it's basically they've got like a bucket with sudsy water next to the fountain, and they
Their washboards.
Huh?
Their
Yep, with their
washboards.
washboards. Yep.
And just to make sure,
screw them
we
away.
haven't rested since we've left the sewer, correct?
No.
I believe
We were
we've
taking
just-
a short
Taking a
rest
short
as we
rest.
were walking because it was going to take us a little
Okay.
while.
Yeah,
But-
because you guys are moseying and snacking.
Okay, that's fine.
So you could use hit dice if you needed to.
I get my
maybe.
one spell slot back. One of my two.
Yay, Warlocks.
So-
I use them effectively.
Where you're from, do they also? I'm assuming because where I'm from, we have people that do this
What's that
for
word?
nobles.
What's that word? I'm trying to find it. Is that? Go ahead, continue.
You know,
What word?
basically people that work that are poor, downtrodden,
There's a word for
forced to serve under
Serfs?
it. No.
He's looking for a Japanese word, I think.
peasant.
No, it's in Kung Fu Hustle.
But I think ultimately that's what you're getting at, right?
Yeah, they had those where you're from,
I mean,
or do cats treat their people better?
what better? I mean, when you put it that way, it would be categorized under we treat people better. But I mean, not a lot of us really come from the richer side of things. We're all on the poorer side. We all kind of pitch in together and work like that. I don't know. There aren't really a lot of richer folk there. I mean, there's some, but I don't know.
With the way that the Tabaxi tend to like hyper focus on hobbies and shit.
Yeah.
Any of them that do come into money tend to dump it all into
That hobby.
oh my gosh, Bitcoin, kind of thing, and then it's all gone.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty accurate. What about where you're from, Akiko? I mean, you seem to know a bit about this.
Well, I grew up in the streets, as it were.
Okay.
I'm well acquainted with the idea that the higher class walk all over the lower class. It might be a little bit more pronounced where I'm from.
Interesting. What about you? You said, oh god. This
He
is
does
one
not
that's been
look like he has
reports.
done laundry a day in his life.
No, I had to stop and think before I got my characters confused. This is someone that's been with the courts, right? Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, you've been up in the courts with the higher-ups. What about your take on this? Where have you come from?
Well, I was kind of in that middle where I wasn't high enough to having servants of my own, but I wasn't low enough to, have to do a lot of menial tasks. But I was kind of, let's see what's the right term. I guess you could say I was like a display piece for the court I was in. They trotted me out when other visiting factions were there as like a show off how powerful or
So you're an entertainer.
Arm candy.
Well, I was gonna say not so much an entertainer. I think it's got not as positive of a feeling with it. More of
Oh.
you were there for show, if I'm
You
understanding
were
it
a
correctly.
prostitute.
Yeah, I was about to say he's gonna think that.
More along the lines of a geisha.
No, but I guess in a way it would be that because they used me for my magical abilities. And
But
my
on kiss,
healing,
wink, wink.
not sexual acts.
Uh-huh.
So they prostituted my magic.
Well,
You
the
could say
geishas
that.
aren't all about sexual acts either. It's about being able to show proper companionship. You know, be there to talk, hold a conversation, mostly listen.
But
Did you do a lot of listening?
I did. I know that's why I know a lot about what I do because a lot of it wasn't taught. But they kind of forget that you're, you know, a person when they're doing their thing.
I understand. She doesn't actually.
I understand.
You know, if you guys couldn't tell already, I have some kind of, you know, angelic celestial heritage, and that was a big prize for them.
You can see how that makes sense.
So why
Weird
did they let
flex,
you
but
leave?
okay.
Because I finally became of age and they had no actual right to hold me there, and I didn't want to be there. So,
It's kind of what happened to me. Well, nobody was trying to hold me anywhere, but finally got old enough to leave, and I did.
You guys kind of already know the basics. I left to come find my uncle, and I was seemingly led to you three. It's been a journey since then.
You
How
guys have
about
all
you,
probably at this
Chuldaiku?
point seen his book.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Coolies.
I don't really try to hide it.
Coolies. I think that's what they're called. Anyway, I'll at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'll
I don't remember.
remember it. Oh yeah. Well,
but yeah, we've seen your book and that your uncle's name was Jade, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I have not been secretive about those things. No.
Or your fascination with that spell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Not just
That's
because it's
So are you
shiny.
from one of the Warlord clans?
No, that's like the
Yeah.
primary reason.
yeah, my father and fellow clansmen were killed by the nine-tailed fox, and I've been on tracking it down ever since. Strangely, I ended up in this land.
Did it?
I am
Did it travel to this area?
I've just been,
You were on a bender.
yeah, just wherever my feet take me, trying to find history on demons, and because I know they can take multiple forms and personalities. So I just thought maybe I made my way through Penja and Alamahara, and I finally landed in Escrivari, and so I've just kind of made my way this way, going through Venetia, trying to find anything I can about lore on the demons.
I don't know anything about demons.
I don't know much.
It's the wrong color, but what's going on with Akiko is a little concerning to you.
Yeah, because I'm from
I'm like half
Kenji,
concerned, half
right.
intrigued.
Yeah.
Kenjuru is the one that's the most anti-magic, isn't it?
Well, anti
Anti-demons.
anything that's not your human.
Xenophobic?
Yeah.
A little
Oh,
xenophobic.
okay.
A little bit.
So they wouldn't like you, and they wouldn't like what's happening with you. They'd probably be fine with you, but he's out.
Oh yeah, I'm out. And if they
Well,
knew
they
what
wouldn't
was
really,
going
like,
on with my
try to
toe,
kill him or anything, but they would definitely.
skeptical.
If you were either all white or all black and doing this all the time, then it would be okay.
Yeah.
But he's not. Lucky guy. So at this point, you guys have devoured your meat sticks.
Mine was devoured in the beginning of that conversation, very awkwardly.
You get a little bite and a little head shake. You killed it.
I like the little tail twitches.
Yeah. But at this point, you guys are standing around in the rain in a square. People kind of looked up when you entered the square, but you're just
Looking around, do we
not doing
see
much,
any one of Rhineland traits doing any work, tasks, or taking a break or anything of that sort?
Not at the moment. Do you guys intend to linger here, or?
Is there a covered area nearby with seating or anything?
Like a
It doesn't have
cafe.
to have seating, it just needs to be covered.
I mean, covered helps, but seating would be nice.
Yeah. There's a general goods store here. In this square area. There is a small booth set up to sell some kind of wilted looking sad flowers at this point. But she has a big tarp off section that covers her shop. And there is another basically kind of pot pie vendor almost. I guess kind of like Euros. This is not the same shops that you guys terrorized the other day though. This is a different franchise than that. But they have a couple of tables that are out. They're wet because it's raining, but
Does there look like there's any warehouse with activity in it nearby, or is this like too central to have a warehouse?
this is close to the middle of basically of a big residential area for the town. It's a few blocks up from the boatyard, so you've got mostly residential and a couple of little shops here and there. Nothing warehousey or storagey like that. That'd be down closer towards the water.
Is there like a cultural center, like a Chinatown, or like maybe where people from Rhineland would gather, like a
Rhineland.
hall or the Rhineland?
Right.
Like there's a Polish club.
Yeah, no. There aren't really embassies in this town because it's a smaller town. Most people that would be moving through that are looking to mingle like that would probably end up at the inn that you guys are staying at, or at the other inn in town. But that's because this is not a terribly large town, so there's not a lot of people coming here for. There's not a lot of people coming here on purpose.
Okay.
There's people that come here for trade, and for like fishing vessels and things like that. Because it is, in there, but it's not, it's a good restocking port, but it's not someplace that people would go, oh, let's go to Venice.
I will just stop people that are randomly walking past me and be like, do you know Rolf?
He's
Fried's
this tall,
Uh,
blonde hair, blue eyes.
I don't know Rolf, and she'll bring out a cloth, but there is a really tall guy that comes through here.
Yeah.
His name's Vagante, though. His name isn't Rolf. And I think he's carrying Elila's laundry home at the moment. She just finished. She's got twins, and they had, oh my god, so much bedding to clean. It's ridiculous.
So do you think he's gonna come back here?
Hmm?
You think he's gonna come back here?
Usually.
I'll start ringing it.
Oh, you've got strong hands. Here, do this rug. And she it's probably like 40 pounds because it is a heavy rug. It's like, thank you.
DM, what was that name again?
For what one?
Vagante?
The
Oh, Vagante, yeah. For the
Yeah.
Rhinelander.
how do you spell that?
Vagante.
Doesn't seem like a very Rhineland.
I haven't really accepted the vowels.
Of course, he could have taken on a new name to fit in better.
I am a fan of phonetic spelling.
I've heard of some people taking, when they go to a new culture, they'll adopt a new name to fit in better. And he might have done that.
So do you guys know him? Is that why you're looking for him?
He might be somebody we're looking for.
Or he might know someone we're looking for.
Yeah. Flip it inside out though, and then rub it along the ribs. So it goes, there you go. Nice. You've got great arms.
Thanks. Flex with each one.
Laundry. Oh yes.
Get on my abs.
Are those clean? I mean, okay. So you know him, but you don't know him. and you're looking
did
for him.
anyone say we knew him?
You said you were looking for him.
Yeah, we don't know him.
Yeah.
No.
We have something that might belong to him, but it's kind of private and personal, so we don't want to just like tell anybody that comes along.
Oh, I'm not just anybody. We're laundry buddies.
That is true.
It's true. We have his soul.
How
Am I doing this right?
Yeah, no, that's how it works.
No,
Nice.
you're doing it all wrong, Akiko. All wrong.
Why do you guys have souls?
Everyone has a soul, right?
It's
Well-
really just a matter of what you believe.
Well, see, there was this
She like
guy,
puts that
right?
away and she grabs another
Let's
sheet.
Maybe not tell the town gossips
Yeah,
that.
it's a secret.
We're on a
It's a
mission.
secret from
God.
which ones?
I'm not sure. Never actually got a name on that one.
I mean, there are a lot to choose from. The best being, of course, Calmore.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Flaming
That's all right.
Light. Well, he should be back soon. You can give him his soul then.
That'd be good. We
I
can
don't
move
think-
on to the next person.
Who else's soul do you have?
I don't know
Turn
yet.
it over.
I have no idea.
Go, let's
We won't
maybe-
find out until we tap the box again.
So you guys have a magic box that gives out souls?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's
But the guy didn't want them anymore, so
well, this has been the most interesting load of laundry I've done.
Let's hold it up.
I think it's done. Bring it out.
Yeah, bring it out like that and then put it in the covered basket right over there. She's like, well, that's all my laundry. You guys have good luck with your souls.
Yeah, Akiko,
Yeah.
thanks for airing out a lot of other laundry too. Like it's great.
You might, you guys might want to talk to the church. You should actually probably definitely go to the Temple of Calmore while you're here, because, well, they might need to pray for you. Well, I'm gonna go. And she picks up her laundry and she hefts it off and she
And
walks
when people are
out
out
of
of
the square.
earshot, I'll say, definitely do not go to the Temple of Calmore with this. Not if you want Calmorian priests and paladins to come after us.
So if you haven't figured out, and I don't want to be speaking that loudly, this is more of like kind of an inner huddle here. If you haven't figured out, most normal people are weirded out by the whole concept of a soul, especially when we have it. So we should probably stop telling people that's why we're looking for them.
She has stopped at the corner and is talking with 3 other women at this point. They're all staring over at you guys.
I'm gonna glance at
Maybe they're
Wish I- you
sharpening
know
up
what?
their skills.
I bet the person that, we're looking for will hear about it.
and I'm sure a lot of other people will. And those people will want to look for us.
How
And I
far
don't
away
want
would
to
you say
imagine.
they are?
Square's not that big. It's probably like 40, 50 feet.
So we're more in the center of it, so they're...
Yeah. They're basically on the outside edge of it. It's almost square. It's a little skewed because it's on a hillside, but it's a mostly square, market square kind of thing. And they're basically standing at one of the roads that leads out of it, like fairly narrow carriage width road.
Meanwhile, I'm over at another lady.
Oh. Is there anyone else watching still?
There's an older woman who's over there, and she's kind of humming to herself and watching things. But
I help her.
okay. When you go to reach for her laundry, she slaps your hand.
I just want to help.
Oh. Show me your hands. She hands you her stuff, slides the bucket over, and she just kind of sits there, reaches into a bag, pulls out some knitting.
Hey, I got an idea. Reach into my bag, pull out a gold piece. Why don't you get something to eat while I do this?
She totters off over towards the meat
This is a
version.
great workout, guys.
Oh, see, I couldn't figure out why you wanted to do it. I think I'm starting to get you.
She comes back with like 3 meat sticks, hands you 2 of them. Goes back to her knitting. She occasionally reaches over and pats you. Good job.
I would say, assuming Akiko doesn't continue to gossip, we're probably just gonna wait around, let's say an hour or so, see if he returns.
Okay. Eventually the looky-loos off in the corner will kind of meander away. They take their baskets with them though, and you can tell like a couple of them were not actually here doing laundry. They were coming to do laundry and then decided otherwise and left. But after probably 20-25 minutes or so, you guys are sitting there chit-chatting, and you see who you would guess is probably Vagante, because this is a massive dude. This guy is he's about 6'4". He has long hair that's kind of dready and pulled back into really tight, like a tied off lump at the back of his head. He's 6'4", and he's probably somewhere between 250 and 280 pounds. For him, that it looks kind of lean almost, because it seems like his frame is used to holding a lot more than that. But he looks like he's maybe missed a couple of meals, basically. He's still a really big person, but he doesn't look healthy, you know? And he's kind of grubby. He's wearing clothes that don't quite fit him right, pants that aren't quite long enough, and a shirt that doesn't quite reach in the sleeves, you know? And he's got just a straw hat on. Keeps the rain out of his eyes. But he comes over to the square, and he'll basically come over to the fountain, and he kind of looks at the fountain and he watches the waterfall. He just kind of stands there.
I walk up to him. It's like, hello there, friend. Can I ask you some questions?
And he looks at you, but he looks confused. The lights are barely on, and you're pretty sure no one is home.
Okay.
Like, you've seen people that are just out of their mind drunk, and it kind of gives you the same vibe where there's not much going on there.
Just kind of reach out and tap him with the
But
coin.
he smiles friendly enough. He's got all his teeth, surprisingly.
I mean, just on the off chance, if I guess I gotta try and go and that seems really weird to do. Like,
He's not gonna notice. Go ahead.
He'll like hold out his hands like you need him to carry something. He kind of looks over at Chud. Just kind of like puts his arms like.
I don't want to give him one of the coin because I don't want to try and steal it back if it doesn't work. But I am going to give him 5 silver, just to give him 5 silver.
He'll take it from you, and he'll put it in like his pocket, because he's got like a pocket on his side, and then he looks at you like.
I found him.
Bam!
His fist comes back, and then he just.
Oh god.
Cool. Not fine.
Akiko, you should try talking to him.
Hey, buddy. This lady
He, like,
just
looks down.
Got finished with her laundry. Why don't you take her home? I looked at the old lady after her clothes are done, and like,
She hops in the basket.
okay.
Yeah, here.
Oh, you're gonna try and...
Just make sure you don't lose the coin.
Just reach
You
out.
can't
kinda-
reach his head.
I just reach out and
grab his
try to
head.
see
like while he's leaning.
like on the arm or anything I'll slide a hand in if you want.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and give me a slide of hand.
I rolled a natural 1,
Wonderful.
but
Thankfully it's not
it's
unfair.
actually an 11.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Loves it. Thievery.
Oh.
Right? Yeah.
It's only an 8, so okay, yeah. You reach out and you boop him, and much like you have seen with with the other coins that you guys have done so far, there's a brief flash of light. All of him is covered in gold for just a second. He drops the laundry basket, and you just have a regular gold coin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How was it? Interesting.
These are a
And
lot
he's just
easier
like-
than you guys make them out to be. I
So
don't
he just
understand you guys.
reaches out and like grabs your shoulder.
I grab his shoulder.
What?
He grabs your shoulder,
I grab Quill's.
Ah! Yeah.
and you
What's
guys are
happening?
swept in as he gives you this like massive bear hug.
Yeah, apparently I'm a part
And
of
he
this.
starts like moseying toward Raphael, like he's gotta get in on this.
Come on, again. Come on.
This guy has a massive wingspan, right? Arms
My
wise.
tail
He
is
gets
switching.
all of you in there and
Honestly.
squishes you. Old lady picks up her laundry, cusses at you guys, and wanders off.
Would you like me to rewash it for you? I got another gold piece.
Take the gold piece,
The
tuck it
weird,
into the
the
laundry.
weird blank one.
The
there.
blank one. Take it. Sticks it in the laundry basket. No. Takes the laundry and she wanders off.
She ripped me off. I didn't get to do her laundry.
She cackles as she walks away.
Fascinating.
It's like,
I'm gonna like
But-
try and pry out of this if he's not gonna let us go.
he'll thump you on the back.
Ah!
The wiggly cat.
He thumps all of you guys on the back. He smiles.
Does he still look like the lights aren't quite there? Maybe a little more so than before?
His smile is brighter.
Okay.
Give me perception checks.
I can do that.
I'm looking for my.
Oh,
Are you sure?
7.
no.
I'm looking for laundry to do.
18.
18.
Here
okay.
we go again. 6.
Nice.
I'm
So,
always one
Chud, you
behind
notice,
Akiko.
because you guys were just up close and personal with this guy.
Every time.
You can see above his left eye, there's a scar that starts and it goes up there, and it's maybe a 1/4 inch wide just above his eyebrow, and it gets wider and wider, and where it disappears underneath the brim of the hat, it's about 2 inches wide.
Ooh.
And it keeps, it doesn't like end, it keeps going back. And it is gnarly, like it looks like there's bubbled up flesh there where the scar tissue didn't heal properly, and so it was very clearly not tended well when it was as it healed basically.
Okay.
But he's very very smiley, and he's kind of standing there, he's kind of rolling his shoulders. He keeps patting you on the back.
Well,
What, hey buddy,
Yeah.
Oh God.
what happened here? Fire?
You don't know?
probably a weapon of some kind, to be honest.
And he's got a hat, and he tips his hat to you. The scar does continue all the way across his head, and it goes all the way down the back of his neck and into his shirt. But it's probably, like I said, about 2 inches wide all the way up and across his skull, and there's no hair growing on it or anything. It is gnarly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
gods, right?
What?
Fix it.
I don't think I can fix that.
Put this hat back.
I mean, that's kind of beyond me. Like, my magic would have helped close that up, but I don't have anything that can fix that. I mean, I could try.
That's a thing that gods do, right?
I didn't say I was a god.
Well, no.
He's like, I
but
just implied.
You follow some sort of divine thing, right? That's
Well,
what you do.
I don't follow it, but I somehow have heritage that gave me abilities from it.
Quill
That's
leans
basically-
in curiously during this conversation.
But I mean, I could try, I guess, and I reach out and I touch him and I cast Cure Wounds.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna do anything, but
He's got a couple of scrapes across his knuckles and his elbows that heal up when you do that. Basically, right here, like he kind of bit it at some point. And those clear away. But other than like,
yeah.
he's so excited. He'll thump you on the back. Well,
Yeah.
he'll thump you again, but like soft. Then he'll reach over and he'll thump Akiko. She seems to like it. Thump, thump, thump.
I'm gonna
He likes this
back away for fear of being smacked.
But yeah, I'm not quite strong enough in magic to have anything that would actually fix that.
But is there a thing that would do it? Is that something you would know about?
I would think
Or does
that.
it exist?
I would think that someone with
I
really
believe
high
it
power
exists.
magic could. Yeah. It's just a matter of finding them.
How much would something like that cost? I got about 190 gold left. Is that enough?
No. From experience.
I feel like
not-
this would be a mildly expensive thing.
Let's see.
Because this seems like full-on brain damage. Like, especially with that style of scar.
Let me check.
While you guys discuss that, Ava, you have been on a hunt for your son. And the last piece of advice, or basically the last tip that you had, said that he had taken a ship that was circling the Black Sea. So, in an attempt to get here and be able to intercept him, you caught a ship. Basically, you traveled from Hurin up to Vistaria, and you took a ship to Minette because you're trying to catch up. He's basically with he's with a merchant vessel, so you hopped on board a ship that was more of a transport ship, so it would be a bit faster. And if this tip pays off and you are on schedule right now, theoretically, in 3 days, the ship that he is in will be stopping here to resupply before continuing on to the next port. And the ship that you are waiting for is the Dawn Feather. You're not 100% sure he's on it, but that's a trade vessel that you know is coming here that potentially has goods of of questionable origins on it. Basically, that's what your resources in Vistaria told you. At this point, you've gotten off of the ship. It came in with the morning tide, so around 10 or 11 o'clock, and this is a Venetian town. It's a much smaller scale than the last place that you were at, and you haven't been to too many cities in Venetia, but you've got white stucco walls, red tile roofs. It's kind of a, well, it's a port town. So it's got the docks and the fisheries down closer towards the water, of course. And then as you basically work your way kind of up the hill away from the coastline, you've got merchants and residential areas. You have heard there are 2 inns that you could stay at in this town. There is I think it's the Shining Lily, and the other one is the
Three
Three Twigs.
The one that we're in.
What is that called? The Three Tree Twigs. The Gleaming Lily, my bad. The Gleaming Lily is more of a high class kind of place where you'd see merchants and potentially traveling nobles staying. They weren't staying with another household or have their own estate basically in the area. The Three Tree Twigs is more like to be the adventuring sort. That's where people who are looking for, if you're looking for trouble, that's where you go.
That is where I would go.
Okay. Not that it's a shady establishment. It's a very well run establishment, but it is a gathering point for adventurers in their ilk.
Seems more like where my son would go.
Yes.
And more affordable.
More affordable, yeah. More affordable, stronger alcohol. So,
And what time is it right now?
right now it is early afternoon, so it's between like 12 and 1. It is raining here. From what you understand, Venetia is supposed to be kind of a hot, humid kind of area. Definitely the wrong time of year for it to be raining this much. It is early, no, it's almost midsummer at this point. And it is just pouring rain.
What is the name of the town?
Minette. M-I-N-N-E-T-T-E.
So I assume that I would have, so I know that the Dawn Feather is supposed to be coming in 3 days, so I'm gonna go head to the inn and get a room and start questioning people.
Okay.
Just about that ship and who's the captain, kind of get information on it.
Okay. So you would know from experience that it's best to ask the dockmaster for that kind of information. Basically, see if the docks, if that ship has docked here before, kind of thing. If the sailors themselves tend to frequent a tavern in the area, a tavern that's closer down by the docks, and sleep on the ship. But if you want to get that information. Do you want to, basically, where do you want to go for that information? Do you want to try and hit up the tavern? Do you want to talk to the dockmaster?
I'll talk to the dockmaster first and just try and figure out as much as I can sneakily, not being too.
Okay. So you ask around and eventually somebody basically points you to this little, almost like a service shack that's located down on the docks. And you get over there and there's 2 windows on this thing. One of them has been broken and is kind of patched up with just some cloth. And it's not helping. Like the cloth has seeped down in and it's clearly just dripping straight into this hut. But you knock at the door. There's this kind of weathered, grumpy old looking man that kind of opens the door and
Hello.
Oh, he kind of looks down. Oh, hello lady.
Hello, sir.
You have a boat?
No.
What do you want?
Looking for a boat.
I'm not selling.
The Dawn Feather.
I don't know who she is. Huh?
Do you know of it?
Know of what?
The Dawn Feather.
It's a boat?
Yes.
I'm not selling a boat.
I gathered that, sir.
So, oh, no, it's not here.
Do you know if it will be here soon?
No,
No?
don't know.
Has it been here before?
I don't know. He stomps into the shack,
I follow him.
kind of goes over and he pulls out a ledger, pulls down a book, kind of flips it. Dawn Feather?
Yes.
It's a ship.
Yes.
What kind of ship?
It's a merchant ship.
Merchant. Puts that book back, pulls out a different one, brings it down. It's wet. Like it's got real thick pages, which is good because it is damp. And you can see him flipping through it, peeling some of the pages apart, flipping to the next one, peels it back, flip, peels. Ah! Dawn Feather. 3 months ago. Early spring. Brought in stuff, antiquities.
What kind of antiquities?
Antiquities.
Who's the captain of that ship?
Sorcerer. Captain Sorcerer.
What do you know of Captain Sorcerer?
Owns a Dawn Feather. Brought in antiquities. Early spring.
5-star review.
See. Your information is very appreciated, sir.
I have a file system. It's good. And he claps the book shut.
Damn. Have you thought about getting some things in here fixed? Dried out of it?
It's for the aesthetic. It's ocean. Boats. Puts it back up.
Gotcha.
Those red books and stuff.
Anything else?
Do you know of any taverns close by?
Yeah. Yeah. I know taverns. Fishtail, right over there. Good beer. Ugly waitresses. Good beer.
Okay. I will head that way.
Like mermaids, except reverse. The top half's the fish.
That's right. They can bring you drinks that way.
You're leaving. He kind of like looks at a hat that's kind of flipped over that's on his desk.
I will put a gold piece in there.
Good lass.
Really think about getting this.
Uh-huh. Takes a coin, puts it in his pocket, closes the door.
Drink that. I'm gonna head to the tavern
Okay.
with the fish-faced woman.
So you call it the fish tail. As you're basically meandering down the docks in the direction that he pointed, there is a sign, and it's called Fish Tales, like Tales, like you would tell a story. And it looks like at some point or other somebody actually just busted the sign. Like it may actually have been a full fish at one point, but the top half of the F is broken off and the front half of the fish is missing. So it's just the back end of a fish, and it says Tales. Very elaborate letters. Very old sign.
Looks like a fine establishment. I will march inside.
Okay. It doesn't have windows. It has shutters. They are closed. As you get inside, there's no glass in the windows. The furniture all is kind of poorly crafted. Most of it looks pretty new. Very cheaply made. There's sawdust all over the floor, and it's kind of matted down because the floor has just been so wet between the moisture outside, people trekking it in, vomit, the usual. It's pretty dimly lit. There's not a lot of patrons in there this time of the day. But there are a couple of candles, basically candelabras set up on the bar. There's a couple that are just melted directly to the bar itself, and they're big pillar candles. And they've got like a beer glass that's broken around them so that they still cast a light and they're protected from the wind. But they are not safe. They would not pass FDA regulations. And there is this woman behind the counter, and she's got really, really wavy, curly hair, like that naturally really tightly ringleted hair. And she's kind of pulled back into a messy bun at the back of her head. And she is cleaning off cups, wiping down the outsides of them, looking at the insides, shrugging, putting it down, picking up a new one, wiping it off, looking inside, puts that in a different pile. And just basically sorting through this long line of ale cups, these mugs, on the bar. Looks like she's basically doing cleanup from last night. Imagine solo cups everywhere.
So I will head over there to where she's at
Okay.
and climb up into the chair.
There are bar stools, so you'd be able to climb up there. But she just kind of looks over and she's like, "What can I do for you?"
A drink, please. I heard that you have.
All right, what kind of drink? I've got ale. I've got red ale. There's some wine. I wouldn't recommend the water.
I'll have an ale.
All right.
Just a regular one.
Okay. And she'll get one of the mugs from the pile, and she'll take it over, and she'll tap it into a keg, and she'll fill it up. Lots of bubbles. Tips it off. That'd be 5 copper.
Okay, I'll give her that 5 copper.
She doesn't look all that old, but her voice is really scratchy. Like she spends a lot of her time screaming at drunk people. and living near the ocean with a salt air.
Okay, so I will take some of my drink some of my drink, and then I'm gonna help her start sorting through the cups and strike up conversation with her.
Okay. It's not the best beer you've had. It's potent.
I will drink it very slowly and gingerly.
There are a lot of bowls, so that's you get the bowl stuff. And so what brings you to Manette? You're not a local.
How can you tell?
Well, you're small.
That's very accurate.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm here looking for the Dawn Feather. I heard that it's supposed to be in port in a few days, and I'm looking for someone that may be on it.
No, Dawn Feather stops in a few times a year. That's true. What are you looking for? Who are you looking for?
My son.
Oh, small too?
Yes.
On a boat?
Yes. He left home several months ago and trying to find him.
Oh.
And I heard he might be on that ship.
Well, Dawn Feather is not a bad ship.
What
Captain's alright.
do you mean by all right?
Well, she like looks around. There's no one in this bar. We're not pirates.
It's good to know.
Some ships that come into town make extra coin while they're out on the seas by taking it from those that are less defended against the seas, if you know what I mean. But, you say your son's falling in with them?
He may be on that ship. I don't know for certain.
Well, most of the crew do come here to drink, so if you're looking for a place to stay, you're shit out of luck unless you like sleeping on sawdust. But you're welcome to check in.
I will do that. And what is your name?
Marie.
No, murmuring.
Murmur.
Marie. She maybe had one of those beers too. You know, you gotta finish the cup, right?
Oh, yeah. Don't want to waste it. Shit costs money.
Well,
We're just quarterbacking as a kid.
Yeah. Yum.
thank you for the information.
I hope you find your boy.
I will be back.
Tell your friends, bring their coin.
That I will.
Yeah,
This is a fine establishment.
it's alright. She like pulls one of the cups over towards her, a bar that like a board of the wood of the bar kind of like, she just kind of smacks it back down, kind of wails on it a little bit to get it to stay, goes back to cleaning the cups. What would you like to go to next?
Well, I want to go get a room
Okay.
at the,
Three twigs?
yes.
Okay, I did that to myself. It's nice. Okay, so you head towards the 3 tree twigs. And you guys were discussing spells and your plan of action. You're standing in the square with the fountain. It's pouring rain, and you have a giant 6-foot-tall human puppy looking at you.
Well, we need to
Has
just.
he released us from the hug finally?
He has.
Oh,
He still occasionally reaches over and pats you guys on the back, though.
But yeah, Akiko, there's only one spell I can think of that may help with it. It's not even a guarantee, but it would require like a high level cleric. Like it, and that wouldn't come cheap.
So we go to the temple.
I'd rather not go to the temple,
Yeah, I'm gonna
That's
avoid that.
So,
but we can't afford it. Like
so
I'm pretty
people
sure.
have like more than one god. Is there only one represented in this town?
I honestly don't know what.
You people.
What do you mean, you people?
You divine people.
Vagante kind of like sees you squaring up. He's like, kind of rolls his shoulders back.
I mean,
In the keeping. Promise to feed him every day.
everything
We'll
else.
take him for
Consider
lunch.
He's not sure what's going on, but he's like, he's nodding.
Can you understand us, Dante?
Please, Rolf.
Oh, yeah, that's a valid point.
Oh, well, let's ask him. The what is that? Rolf.
What?
Rolf.
That was like really deep chuckle.
Well, I mean, I don't know what temples are here, and I'm not from a temple or go to temples on the regular.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what celestial being either gave me this power or I inherited it from, so I have no idea. Like,
We're gonna have to figure that out.
I was gonna say, my knowledge doesn't exactly extend to celestial beings. I'm pretty sure wherever this stuff comes from, if it's celestial,
There's an octopus crawling out.
hey, right, like if it's celestial, it's weird.
not all celestial beings are gods either,
Well,
so,
okay.
yeah.
Huh. That's all beyond me.
So-
I'd have
so
no
ox-
idea.
We had to,
Hey, wait. You pressed the button last
So
time.
we go to the inn?
we
It's
had to
true.
trade her off
We,
now.
I think
Oh, to the middle?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
I think if you want to touch it this time,
At
you give me the
once.
box.
I'd at least like to do it once.
Alright, I pull a box out and here.
Quill's getting like all antsy.
Alright, both of you make dexterity checks.
No, it's fine. I wasn't prepared. I legitimately didn't think he was gonna do it.
Okay. But you have cat-like reflexes.
Yeah, but I wasn't ready. It's fine. That's beautiful.
Alright.
Horrible person.
So, Akiko whacks the box.
Whack.
As you do. Yeah, there's an H in there. I like to pronounce the H. Whack. Whack.
Whip.
Whack. Whack. Wapa. Ooh, wapa's a good one. I like that. One of you guys needs to get nunchucks so that Ian can make that sound more often.
Part of it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Alright, so
I have
coin
a-
pops out. Who's catching it?
I'm defeated right now. I ain't catching
I'll
the
catch
coin.
it.
Okay.
Oh.
Chud, can I go over and...
Oh.
Okay.
Only when the student has mastered grabbing the grasshopper, they take it. Oh, let me finish first. I gotta finish. Oh, only when the student can grab the grasshopper from my hand. Oh. Fine.
Isn't that it?
Whose name
What's
is
the
it?
name?
This one has a name that starts at the top and scrolls across, and then it's finished on the bottom.
Oh my god.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
It's Mokhtar Fairhands.
I think we're dealing with an orc. Loktar Olga?
What was it? Fair hands?
Fairhands, yep.
I started playing it. Must be.
Almost sounds
It's a
like
trap,
they could be
man.
a smith, or at least they do some sort of crafting with their hands.
Unless it means they don't do anything because their hands are too
Oh,
fair, you know, as in,
ouch.
yeah.
Well, let's hope it's my side then.
Rattle the box.
Nothing.
Have you thought about maybe just like smashing it?
No. No.
That's-
No.
Rolf is like,
No. No.
he leans over and just kind of like punches Akiko in the shoulder.
Oh boy. Shall we head back to the inn?
Yeah, I
It's
feel
been
like
a
we need to
day.
go for some proper rest and some alcohol seems nice. And bring it with us.
Or, yeah, what are we doing with him?
I mean, I'm sure he has a place he lives at here already. Like,
He's just,
Yeah.
it's raining. Occasionally he looks up too far and the rain falls in his eyes and he kind of blinks a couple times.
I mean,
Part turkey.
now he's got
Yeah.
this far by himself is beyond me. Like, I'm kind of curious. But at the same time, do we really want to take the responsibility of what is the equivalent to probably a pet?
You said there's a shop that's like right here in this area, right?
There's a couple. Yeah, there's a flower merchant, meat merchant, and then a general shop.
I go over to the flower merchant.
Okay.
Excuse me. You see him here a lot?
And it's this girl who looks like she's maybe 13, 14 years old, clearly minding the shop for her somebody. And she just goes, he's here every day. He does work in the square.
Do you happen to, does anybody like take care of him?
He lives on the streets. Sometimes we feed him if we have extra bread.
Oh, that's it.
But
I walk off.
He's
Oh,
ours.
no.
He's ours now.
We have updates.
would you like some flowers?
I go back to her, look at the, how much for all of them?
All of the flowers?
All of them.
She's like trying to do math. She like reaches into like underneath a little cash box and she pulls out like a slip of parchment and she, 5 gold.
For all
All
of them?
flowers?
For Boulder? Yes.
Give her 20 gold. Gather up all the flowers. I wave Rolf over.
Wolf comes over
Carry all these flowers.
and he will just basically just okay, and he like tries to wave, drops some flowers, bends down, picks them up, drops 3 more, picks them up.
Alright, as we're walking, I want you to give a flower to everybody you see. You do that?
He's got the flowers.
I'm worried he might not have understood you. Let me try something, and I'll use the awakened mind thing I have to speak to him telepathically, so he can actually understand. I'm gonna tell him, mentally, that Akiko says to give one of those flowers to each person that we pass by. Also, sorry if this is weird.
So what does the spell do?
It's not a spell, it's a passive for being a part of the Great Old One, Warlock. I did this when we first met Raphael, too. It says, beginning at first level, your alien knowledge gives you the ability to touch minds of other creatures. You can telepathically speak to any creature you can see within 30 feet of you. You don't need to share a language with it, but they must be able to understand at least one language.
Okay. So when you touch minds with the other people in the group, because you've done it like once or twice.
Once with him and that's it.
Okay, so you've done it with him. It's like reaching out and touching something that's buzzing. Like you're reaching against something that's there's cogs spinning, there's wheels turning, there's things going on in there, and you're just kind of throwing that message into that mix and it's kind of spinning in.
Okay.
Here it's like throwing a bouncy ball down a hallway.
It just kind of
You can
feels...
hear it go through there, but there isn't anything for it to bounce off of, kind of thing. It's you don't feel a presence of his mind the way that you do when you've done this with other people.
Would you even say that it probably feels like it didn't get through all the way then?
It has to be with the person who understands a language.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure he has
Yeah.
a complete understanding of language.
Okay.
It's like if you tried to do this to like a mouse
Yeah.
or a cat or something
Okay.
along those
Okay.
lines. So he will. He's got all these flowers. So he will take a couple of flowers. He gives some to Judd, and these flowers to you, to you, and he gives some to the flower girl, and then he looks around because she has taken the money in the cash box and is gone.
You just made
You just like made their week.
Yeah.
But we'll, as we're walking, I guess, back to the inn,
Yeah.
help him pass out flowers, because we don't need all these flowers.
He basically just gets to the point where he just stoops at you or at people, and they either take a flower or you give out flowers.
On the
You
way
leave a lot of
back,
smiles in your wake.
I will pull Raphael off to the side for just a brief conversation. Raphael, I tried speaking to Rolf the same way I did with you when we first met, and I honestly think there's something damaged in his brain because it didn't feel the same. Like when I spoke to you, like I could tell I was talking to someone, you know, but it you know, it felt like it didn't get through.
It matches what we see on the outside with his demeanor
Yeah.
and his giant scar on his head.
I definitely think there's something missing in there.
Well, usually injuries to the head and brain will do stuff like that.
I wonder if his missing soul had something to do with him surviving it.
It's possible, I suppose.
You guys are being sneaky-ish. I need you to roll some stealth checks real quick.
Being sneaky-ish.
Well, you pulled off to the side to have
Well,
this
no,
conversation.
I was just talking to him on the way back.
Okay.
Like, I'm not trying to be sneaky about it. He's the only one that I've done this with, so he's the one I wanted to share it with.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say there's something going on in his brain, Rolf stops and he comes over to you guys, and he's still got like the arms full of flowers, and he's Rain.
Rain.
Or like rain, water.
You know, like, he's holding the flowers and he's like tries to like touch the rain. Rain. This is the first time you guys have heard him talk, and his voice is it's rumbly with disuse, but that's a word he knows.
Okay.
And
And you like, this is the first kind of emotion that you've seen from him, other than kind of bumbling about please. He's suddenly very intent.
can I tell if he? And I know it's going to be kind of hard, but can I tell if he was attracted to the rain part of it, or just is he not having trouble pronouncing the D? Is there a way I can figure that out?
He goes firmly into the odd. There is no rain. No, it's rain.
Okay.
But after like a couple seconds where you guys don't,
We're just as confused as he is.
he just kind of like looks a little bit dejected.
Wow.
Goes back towards Akiko with the flowers.
Fascinating.
Tries to hand Chud another flower. Like, confusion, like he like picks a flower up and like does not taste good. You are a traitor, sir.
So something about the word rain.
Yeah, that got his attention.
So how long has it been raining?
I guess you haven't really talked to anybody about it.
I guess how long have we been here? Has it been raining
It's
the whole
been,
time?
yeah, since your guys' caravan rolled in, it's been steadily raining since you got here.
No, I would say the same thing since I've arrived from Tolador then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same dish.
So about a week.
Since you guys got here, yes.
And what about and Quill was only a few days before
Yeah,
that.
Quill, I
Yeah,
think you
not
were here
that
for
much
3
longer.
days beforehand.
Yeah, not too
Um,
much longer.
It's been raining. It has been raining long enough at this point that people aren't talking about how strange it is that it's still raining. If that makes sense.
Okay.
You could ask any of the locals, or you could ask Gordy at the inn, whichever you like.
Yeah, if we don't have anything that happens before we get to the inn, I want to ask the innkeeper how long it's
Okay.
been raining for.
You guys make it into the inn, and you still have probably 6 dozen flowers that you've got. They're a little soggy now, but they're still pretty. They're still colorful. Little
Give them to the
wilted little
innkeeper
imps.
to decorate the inn with.
Oh lordy! All right, Marley. He calls Marley out. Marley goes, "Oh, that's a lot of flowers." Hey, she kind of like gives a little wave to Rolf. She's like, "What do you guys? You've got a lot of flowers and a friend. That's new.
That's...
Drinks?
Yes, please.
Drinks?
No drink, thank you.
Not even a strawberry daiquiri? No? Okay. All right.
How long? I've noticed that it has been raining the entire time we've been in the town. How long has it been raining?
It, I mean, we had rain when it started, they started raining in autumn, but it was normal rain, and then winter came and it was a little bit of snow, more snow than we're used to getting, but just a little bit. I mean, the whole world's been kind of weird weather-wise since the whole
Elemental.
plane thing, yeah, that. But then spring came, and the spring rains came with it, and then they never left.
So what?
It should have stopped raining.
Early spring? Late spring?
Yeah, early spring, I'd say. It's because it's usually cleared up around April is when the rains stop and it starts to get warm and sunny, but it got sunny, but only in that it was warmer and the rains kept coming. And it has been raining and raining and raining ever since. Ava, you have made it to the inn. You actually got here just a little bit before these guys, probably about 15 minutes beforehand, so what would you like to order?
A room and some food.
Okay.
I don't need a drink.
You don't need a drink. Okay.
It was a little strong.
So when you come in, you see this. It's much nicer quality than the fishtails that you were at. Sturdy, well-made furniture here. At the bar, which is kind of like an L-shaped. It is much cleaner.
Okay.
Yes. There's an L-shaped bar. There is a barmaid that's kind of going around, and she's just kind of sweeping the floors, just doing some light cleaning. There is a man at the bar itself, passed out on the bar. At least you think he's passed out. He's laying there with his head in his hands. You're pretty sure he's either homeless or a dwarf. There's so much hair there that you can't really tell, but his legs swing up above the ground more so than a tall human person's would. And the serving girl's name is Marley, and she is fairly young. I think she's about 18, 19 years old. She's got long hair, long black hair, basically the usual for the locals. Her hair is in a big old braid down her back. At one point, you actually saw another person come through that he basically come through and went out the front door to go run some errands, and looked like they could probably be related. You think? But he was a boy about 14 years old, and he ducked out. But the person at the bar hasn't moved much. Marley doesn't say much beyond the opening pleasantries and any conversation you want to strike up. But it's nice, it's cozy, it smells good in here, and it's well lit.
There's no vomit on the floor.
No vomit on the floors. No.
Alright, so I will, I'll just get a room for myself. I'll pay for 3 days at least.
Okay, so that'll cost you, I think it's settled at 5 silver a night, so a gold and a half for the 3 days. If you do 2 gold, you get access to the bath.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
There's like a shower and bath room, basically, bathing room.
Yep.
And as you're sitting there, you're enjoying some stew. It's basically last night's roast had some potatoes and some carrots added to it and is being repurposed as stew. This motley group of soggy people come in, and they are eclectic, to say the least. You guys would like to go around and describe yourselves.
So I'm a Tabaxi, I'm covered in fur, but more seriously, my cape is one of the more noticeable things between that and my tome. The cape is covered in cat hair, just like I am, unfortunately, no matter what. My tome has a very distinct jade hue to it, and then aside from just a general fur pattern, there almost looks like there might be a mustache somewhere in there, but you can't really tell.
I'm sorry. So I'm not currently wearing my flag right now. So I do have my armor on, without the mask, so I'm sitting there trying to relax as much as I can, thinking on what Akiko said earlier about leaving that dude to die, but trying not to show it on my face. And I'll introduce myself. My name is Chuldaiku. Friends call me Chud. Feel free to call me whatever. Just not late for dinner. And then I'll sit back down.
His armor is really impressive because you've seen studded leather armor, you've seen plate armor. You've never seen armor like this before. And it's basically, it's like that samurai armor. And it's bright fucking red. And it looks like it's made out of dragon scales, actually. Like, big scales, not like, you know, naga hide or anything like that. Like, these are clearly large, overlapping red dragon scales. And he's got like this weird, kind of almost like a pommel, sort of, or not a pommel, but like a, almost looks like a cup holder on his side. And that's basically where the banner would go when he's
Which is
when he's waving his pimp flag high.
rolled up. And it's, I couldn't fit it in his case anymore, so I got a cloth to wrap it up in the cloth. And so there's the flag with the stick, and then it, there's 3 chains hanging off of it with orc skulls.
They clatter when he sits down.
Yeah. They're like coconut shells.
It's your special mount.
But other than that, I'm just ready.
Akiko is about 5 feet tall. If she stands up real straight, comes in at about 5 feet height. Jet black straight hair that's in a really thick braid that comes down to just like it ends right at her waist, and just thick braid down her back. She's not wearing a whole lot. She's basically got like a leather harness that goes on over her shoulders and everything, that she has like a pack that's attached to it, and there's like a cloth wrap around the top, but her midriff and everything is bare. It just has like rock hard ripped abs and arm muscles and everything. She's got some
Literally washboard.
yeah, like she looks like she might be chiseled from stone. She's just that solid. But otherwise, she's also got this green. It looks like a really long floor-length skirt, but when she moves, you can tell it's actually pants. It's just really long and really gets wider as it goes down to the floor. And she's wearing a set of very simple sandals on her feet. She is very obviously from the Far Eastern lands. She's kind of darkly tanned, dark brown eyes. Looks very cheerful, but she has this massive jade weapon that she carries on like one hand up over on her shoulder and everything. That's as long as she is tall, and probably looks like it probably weighs a lot because it's made out of a solid chunk of stone.
It definitely weighs more than her.
Yeah.
And out of curiosity, since your horns have been coming in and out lately, what current
Yeah,
state is that in?
I got these 2 little, looks like little wounds right here on my forehead.
Yeah, she's not raging right now.
Oh
So,
yeah, but
yeah.
now that's become more active, I'm just curious what it's starting to look like.
But that's it. She seems fairly friendly. Right now she's very preoccupied with this really tall guy that's walking along next to her, delivering flowers.
And then you see someone who's fairly tall, about 5'11", slender, and at first it looks like they just might be a normal human, but you can tell that he's got really light, fair skin, long golden hair, and then unnaturally golden eyes. And he doesn't, but he almost appears like there's a glow around him. Like, it's a blink, he's like, wait, was he glowing?
Is that just the light?
Sparkle, sparkle. And you guys see a
forest gnome. She is 3 feet tall. She's middle-aged. She's about 38 years old. Crow's feet at her eyes, green eyes, short curly brown hair, tan skin, plump She just looks like this little gnomish mom, that should be home baking cookies and scolding her children.
She seems to have misplaced her apron.
Yep. But she has a green cloak. She has leather armor. She has just very simple clothing on. And she just looks out of place here, like she should probably be running a PTA meeting or something.
She would like to speak to the manager.
Yes. She is one step away from I'd like to speak to the manager, Karen.
Are you guys going to, I think, Ava, you're sitting at the bar,
Yes.
and everybody else, where would you guys like to sit? Do you want to sit at the bar? Do you want to get a table? You guys have been occupying the one by the fireplace.
We had already kind of, since you backtracked and said that she was here before us, we had already done gone up to the bar. I talked to the bartender about the rain. And,
Okay.
And Rolf was gonna give the flowers to the bar,
Yeah.
So I guess we'll do that out, because now.
Was I given a flower?
He comes over and he's
Ew.
Big.
He's easily 3 times taller than you. When he gets down, like, with his hand on his knee, he comes down and he hands you a flower.
Thank you. I'll reach out and I'll pat him, and you can see his tears in her eyes.
No.
And she's gonna put the flower in her lapel of her cloak.
Wolf just like smiles, big old smile. He stands back up. Picks up some flowers. And some Akiko.
One thing I'd like to do is do a medicine check on Rolf and see if I can figure out how old that scar is.
Okay. Give me a medicine check.
I do have, I can wait to do it after I roll. I do have 1 thing of lucky left. Won't need it.
Yeah, probably not.
19.
19. You looking at him, you don't know quite how old he is, but you can tell that this is a scar that he's gotten. You'd say it's probably only a couple of years old, maybe 5 or 6, because he is full grown. It's not a wound from when he was younger and he grew and it kind of spread out or anything. He is the same size and shape that he was when he got this wound.
Okay. So I was trying to see if it coincided with when the rain didn't stop. To see if there was some kind of connection with what he was doing.
He takes his hat off and he tries to bend down so that you can get to it. And he'll sit back up and put his hat back on.
Thank you.
When Marley comes out and she brings out food for everybody, she'll bring out a big old bowl of stew for Rolf as well. She says, "Here you go, buddy." She pats him on the back. He just he smiles. And he goes and he starts to eat. And he's not super well coordinated. He gets real close to the bowl and no, not you, hush. He gets real close to the bowl and he'll move the spoon up and do it. And it's not like he has he's shaky or anything. He's just concentrating.
So are they all sitting at a table now, or are you guys at the bar?
Probably a table.
Our fire.
You guys usually take the one by the fireplace.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go up and approach the table, and I take out my watch that has a portrait of my family, and I'm just going to go up and kind of show it to you guys and say, hello. My name is Ava. I'm here and I'm looking for my son. Have you seen him? This is my son. And I'll show you guys
Does any of the pictures look familiar?
Yeah.
No, you guys, the only gnome that you have seen in town was the green one that was with the 3 Dragonborn, the one that had Max.
The bard?
Yep, the bard. But that one was clearly female and an adult. This one is a younger boy. How old is he? 16, 18?
He's about 15.
15 years old?
Yeah.
Okay. So much younger. And definitely not the one that you have seen. So you guys have not seen this person.
I'm sorry, but we haven't seen your son.
Yeah, I haven't seen many
Do you
of
look-
your thing.
Do you live locally?
No.
Rolf points at the picture. He points at it, and then he points at you.
That's me. Very good.
He goes back to his stew.
Well, thank you for looking.
Is he missing?
Yeah.
Yeah, he left home a while ago and I'm trying to find him.
And how do you know he's supposed to be here?
Well, I have information that he may be arriving here in a few days on a merchant ship, and I'm just going around trying to see if anyone has seen him. Maybe he's already been here and left.
Understandable.
Well, I'm sorry that
Yeah.
we haven't seen him.
Well,
I've only been in town about a week, so if it's past that, I'm sorry.
well, thank you. She looks very dejected. She goes back to sit at the bar.
I mean, you're more than welcome to sit with us.
Oh,
You
thank
don't
you.
have to.
I'll sit.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, no,
it's.
mention that.
We just don't have information to provide, but like, you don't have to leave. I'm sorry.
It's been very lonely the last several months, so I appreciate the offer. Where are you all from?
Well, if you didn't know, I was most Tabaxi. I came from Tolador. That's where most of our species comes from. I believe all. I don't know.
I come from across the mountains east of here in Del Sol.
Akiko goes like, I'm also not from here.
Kinjiryu.
Long way from home.
Yeah. Always.
You're very strong looking.
She is.
I am. Thanks.
Do you work out?
Every day.
Good for you.
Every day.
As you can tell, I don't. Children will do that to
We'll
you.
fix that.
I would love to watch you try.
So what about you? Are you from Vinici or are you from the southeast?
Oh no, I'm from Huron.
Okay. Southeast it is.
And you would, with your knowledge of the courts, you're pretty aware that Huron is mostly gnomish.
Yeah.
They have a weird royalty system there. So their idea of like high courts and things like that isn't on par with pretty much any other cultures.
Well, I mean, their high court would be our low court, right?
But no, they're kind of like the gnomes and the Tabaxi have a fairly similar hierarchy, I guess, in their society. You have your crafters and your doers and your tinkerers and then you have the partiers, and that's just most of your people. So.
And what about you, young man? Where are you from?
I'm with Akiko from Kenji Leo. It's pretty far to the right, but not that far to the left. So, if you just go left a little bit more, just like start around.
Over hill and over dale.
Do you
No, it's,
mean east and west?
What?
Do you mean east and west?
Yes.
Makes a little more sense.
Sorry. Yes.
Oh my god, I would murder for some fucking waffles right now, dude.
Did somebody say waffles?
Very different land, but I think we're doing okay.
So, out of curiosity, Miss Ava, have you heard of someone named Mokhtar Fairhands?
Have I?
Mm-mm. Sounds orcish.
How about
Sounds orcish to me. No.
Oh,
how about
nice
Von
one, same thing.
Stein?
No. There's not a lot of Rhinelanders where you're from. You get people that pass through, travelers and things like that, but nobody that knows established like, oh yeah, I met a Von Stein on Wednesday kind of thing.
I'm afraid not. No.
You know we don't need to look for the Von Steins anymore, right?
He has a family.
That is a very valid point.
And if they're rich, they might be able to pay for this to be fixed.
You're not doing this just for money, right? You actually want to help Rolf?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Look at him. Don't you want to help him?
He's still like desperately trying to like get this one carrot out of the bottom of the bowl. He's been working on it for about 3
All it
minutes.
takes is a copper a day, and you can help him.
Just
good.
over a day.
I'll go over and help him with his carrot and just kind of.
And he eats it. He makes his face like, oh, I hate
Here
carrots.
comes the
Good for
airship.
you.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you eat all your vegetables.
He's basically like trying to eat this like 2-inch long carrot on a spoon, and that's wasn't working well for him. But it's all done now. So he picks up his bowl and he'll get up from the table and he goes looking for Marley.
He's a very sweet lad. Who does he belong to?
No.
Your guess is as good
He's
as
not a
ours.
slave.
Well, good.
Go help him find the bowl.
Okay.
I think
She
you might have
his
phrased
mother?
that wrong.
No, she just doesn't understand a lot of common colloquialisms. So there's a language barrier, turns of phrase kind of.
It's led to some very awkward and hilarious situations.
Sounds
Things
like
don't go over her head. Her reflexes are too fast.
Yeah.
She would catch it.
Yeah.
So Rolf wanders over to basically the swinging door that goes into the kitchen, and as you go to follow him, he gets shooed out of the kitchen by someone you just barely catch a glimpse of, but you don't recognize them. It's not Marley, it's not Marco, and it's not Gordy. But he basically the bowl is gone and he's been shooed out of the kitchen.
I go sitting next to the fireplace.
He like awkwardly sits on the edge of the bench. Kind of turns so his back is towards the fireplace. I need you to make a reflex save.
Dexterity saving.
Dexterity saving throw. Yes, sorry.
Natural 20.
Oh my god.
So 23.
23. Excellent. So you reach out and quickly grab his hair, which is fairly long, before it catches fire, and you fling it over his shoulder so that it's resting basically down his side.
Sliding down the bench a little ways, shooing anybody out of the way.
No, yeah, no, I'll move.
As he like, scooches along the bench. The bench creaks the whole time because it's well made, but he big.
So something triggered him, recognition in him.
When we, well,
You know, the rain.
Yeah, I was gonna say we were
Rain?
talking about his brain, but yeah, he heard the rain part of it.
Rain. He gets very solemn. Rain.
Well, I mean, if he's not gonna tell us any information, can I like insight check him to see how he feels about that? I don't know. I can't think of any other way to get information out of
Yeah,
him.
he feels very strongly and very intently about rain.
Yeah, I kind of
Um,
expected that.
Given that you know there's not a lot going on up there after you've touched
Yeah.
his brain, you're not sure if he's associating rain with rain or if rain means something else to him.
Okay.
But whatever it is, rain is important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. Well, you know the noble families, right?
I mean,
You're in that circle.
it depends on which, but sure.
Where would the closest, like, I don't know, what do they call it, like an embassy or something, to where you could actually deliver a message to, get a message sent to,
The Von Steins.
yeah.
I could possibly go to the same place I got the names from. Maybe the city registrar or the town hall would probably be a best bet. I don't think there's any embassies in the area. I just have to find where the Von Steins are, located and send a message to them.
Give me an intelligence check.
Could also be if there's a pretty well prominent family, and I hate to say this, but sometimes if a family like this has a son that's got some pretty intense mental problems, sometimes they do just kind of drop him.
But I mean, he wasn't born this place, so I think that they don't know he's dead. He's been injured. Honestly, they probably just think he's missing.
And with the fact that he had a different name too, I think that they have no clue.
Yeah, so someone named him Bagante, which I'm pretty sure is a Venetian name, so no one knew who he was.
And just gave him.
But Bagante, does that mean like giant almost?
You speak Venetian, right?
Yeah.
It's synonymous with a beggar or lost boy or
Okay.
without a home,
Vagrant.
that kind of thing.
Vagrant.
Yeah.
The real question is, how do they know his last name then? Well, he might have been able to tell it to him before this happened.
Who?
Rolf.
No, that was on the coin.
Oh yeah, I was on the coin, that's right. Never mind.
What'd you get for your history check or intelligence check?
Is it supposed to be history or just? I guess it's the same. It's 18
yeah.
either way.
18. You would know that the nearest embassy for Rhineland would probably be in Rollo. Rollo is the next biggest city. So you guys are in Mignette.
Yeah.
Rollo is right up there. So it's
a little north.
it's
2 inches.
125. 1, 2. Yeah, it's about 2 inches. 125, 24. So it's a couple weeks travel by land. By boat, it'd probably be half that, so a week,
Yeah, maybe.
give or take. Because you get, 40 clicks a day? Or something like that?
Well, about 4 or 5 days.
Okay. If I say Rhineland, does anything click?
Mm-mm. Once you guys finished talking about soup, he just started picking at his shirt and trying to get to dry, basically.
But yeah, for an actual Rhineland embassy, we'd have to travel northwest for a fair ways.
Can you draw the? Does Rhineland have a crest? Something that visual that we can draw?
Yeah, like heraldry kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, the kingdom itself would have a coat of arms, and then each of the major families has their own, basically.
Would your knowledge extend to that, or?
Del Sol. I'm from Benici still, so I'm fairly local.
Even just like a
Fairly
rough
local.
idea of what their
Bring it
crest would
down.
look like?
I mean, I'm not sure that's gonna matter though, because we know he's a Rhinelander from the Von Stein family. I think showing him a crest of those isn't really gonna do anything. I could be wrong, but don't think I'd know the Von Stein's crest, but I'm pretty sure I'd know the Rhineland one, right?
Yeah, you'd know the kingdom's crest for sure. You could roll for the family crest because they are. Let's see, the Von Stein is that the royal family or is that the? That's not the no
Just be one of the.
noble houses. Okay.
But
I would say we could try and focus on the rain aspect.
yeah,
of
because
it.
I don't think.
Green.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, but with the way his head is messed up,
Yeah, we need
it
something.
could.
Well,
it could
I don't mean focusing
literally
on
be
him. I think we should investigate
nothing.
why the rain is acting up and why it's doing this. I mean, it seems like a stretch, but it might lead us to what's going on with him too. Hell, they might even be connected. I mean, I'm
wanna
not
go
saying.
back to the barkeep.
Okay.
I want to ask if he knows how far out of town the rain extends. Because it's not all of Benici, right?
So Gordy has come up and he's basically back behind the bar and he's flipping through the ledgers up there. And you're like, the rain?
Yeah. Like how far out of town does it?
Well, I've heard that it goes at least as far as the south camp, or the south end of the farming area. I think I think it covers probably a few miles out each direction. Say 10 miles? Something like that.
Like a 10-mile.
No, it's gotta be farther than that. It's about a day's travel in each direction.
Okay.
It's about 25 miles,
So a 25-mile radius around the town.
give or take.
Has this town gone through a drought recently?
I mean, summers are normally fairly hot and normally fairly dry, but obviously not this
Yeah,
summer.
the coin's name.
The Mokhtar Fairhands.
You know that one? Mokhtar.
Fairhands.
Yeah, that one.
Nope. Sounds orcish.
Yeah.
Fucking hate orcs.
Well, at least we got an opinion on that one.
Well, I've got an opinion on a lot of things.
Oh, sorry.
I'm kind of curious about what your intentions are with this boy here, though.
Well, if anything, I feel like we should try and get him back to his family.
He's been here about 4 years and no family's come looking for him.
So through all of this, Ava is sitting here listening, but she has also pulled out a set of knitting needles and she has started knitting a hat for the baby boy.
Yes. Very nice.
Yep. So every once in a while she'll try to place it up on his head to
He takes his
measure.
hat off.
Yep.
He's got that gnarly scar, but he offers you his head. Looking at his hair, you would guess he hasn't had his hair washed with soap. I mean, beyond this rain, in maybe years. It doesn't look like his hair has been well taken care of at all.
Ava is going to pay for a bath for him.
For him?
Yes.
I don't think he'll fit in the tubs, lass.
Well, at least we can get his hair washed. Look at him.
And he just smiles.
Well, I mean,
Would you
Quill,
feel better
you
if
Yeah, I
we
was
use
gonna say, if we
prestidigitation.
just want to clean him up, I can cast prestidigitation on him real quick and clean him up.
Don't you
Takes
feel
his hat
better
off.
now?
And he leans towards you.
It's fine, Paul. That's okay.
Very nice.
Okay. So you prestidigitation his hair, and it's
Yeah.
cleaner. It's still pulled back into it's still matted like dreads basically, but they're clean.
Dirty, yeah.
Yeah. Still really really long, but his head feels lighter and it doesn't feel as sticky, so that's kind of cool.
So
He touches it.
yeah, about 4 years would
Take
kind
a
of
big kitchen knife.
Oh!
He brings a fist up because you're pretty feisty. He'll take his hat off.
Start cutting away the big chunks of hair.
He's very, very still. Very still.
So 4 years would kind of match up with when he got his head injury.
Yeah,
Did someone-
no, I remember when he came to town. They dropped him off here.
Did someone
Who dropped him off here?
Some sailors. There was a merchant ship that was out at sea, and they came into port, and they found him out in the water. Big old nasty gash on his head. Found him floating on some debris.
What ship was it?
I don't remember. It's been years. They brought him here, paid me some gold to drop him off. Basically, they paid for a few nights stay.
And then when the money ran out, you just kicked him out, right?
No, actually, I took the gold and a bit of my own gold, and I took him to the temple so that he could get healed up. But there wasn't much they could do for him. Last I heard, he was working in the square. I thought he was staying at the temple. Clearly, he's not. Rolf is just moving his head around, whoa. He just lost 15 pounds. All that hair. And it is heavy. It is thick fucking hair, and there's a lot of it. You just cut off a whole bunch of it. Now he's got it's pretty choppy, but it's clean between the prestidigitation and whacking off most of it. He just sits there and Flips it around.
Flailing his head around.
Yeah. He whips his hair back and forth. But
So you all are looking for his family?
We're
Is that
not.
what you're all doing?
Well, we
That
kind of came across him and we're trying to find him help at least.
oh, did you find Valido?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
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 Right. Well, you've
I
come
wanna
through
leave
looking
this
for.
town.
What's wrong with Manette?
It's raining.
It is raining. It has been raining forever.
So, Rain Man.
He kind of gets the vibe that you guys are done talking to him. With the whole, yep.
I wouldn't say so much done talking to him that we're just kind of lost in thought. But yeah, either way.
Roll
So do
full.
we take him up north?
I mean, it would be a hell of a journey. Wait, you
5
don't
days
mean-
by ship.
Yeah, no, sorry, I thought you meant home.
That's a possibility.
I mean, I'm fine with that. That's not too bad of an idea. Because that'll get us closer to getting a message back home, right?
Well, I mean,
For
we
him.
could send a message from here.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have to travel to Rollo to.
Well, how would we send a message from here?
Well, I mean, we could send a message to a major city in Rhineland and they could forward it to the von Stein estate. We don't need to have, like,
Like through like a
a
courier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There are ships going in and out of port every day.
Basically, we could just pay someone.
Is there a wizard's tower here?
No, there's
Maybe they
not.
have like a magic bird or something that can.
We don't, near far as I know, we don't have any magic towers or wizards with flying birds. Well, birds fly. Except penguins. But no, as the town's too small, we don't have anything quite like that. Got some people that dabble, some druids, but no big hooty-da pointy hats around here.
You think a druid have a magic bird that could take a message all the way there?
I don't really know much about druidic magic. So
Kind of a magic bird.
I don't know, one that you can like tie a message to and it'll like go where you need it to go. Don't you people use pigeons? Man, you guys are so backwater around here. You don't even know how to use a courier pigeon?
Does Benici use courier pigeons?
He does have a lot of pigeons, but you haven't really seen any working ones since you've gotten here.
They're all
They're just
freeloaders.
lazy.
They're all freelancers, yeah. Bums, a lot of them. I mean, you could go down to the docks and you could just have someone have a message sent by ship.
That would take a long time. Because they have to go around the horn there.
Well, it depends on where you're sending it to. Because you've got ships that go north and you've got ships that go south.
What's the von Stein family known for? Do you know? Other than just being known.
Yeah, I guess I can do it.
Knowledge.
13?
What's that?
13?
13. What you know about the von Stein family is that you're pretty sure one of the generals, one of the big generals, basically for their military, is a von Stein. It's a family that came into power. They rose in the ranks by being knights. Basically, they were given land from their service in the war. Long ass time ago. But they are very much, all the sons become knights, the daughters become knights if they want to, that kind of thing. It's a very proud family.
I don't know anything about any remnants of the Ronsteins settling down in Benici at all anywhere.
Not that you're aware of. I mean, with every big family like that, it's hard to keep track of where everybody ends up. But as far as the court stuff goes, they're more on the military side of it than the courtiers and Elmore side. You just know that one of the major generals is
Is
a
he
Malstein.
Modern major.
He is a
general?
modern major general. He's the very model of a modern major general.
Nice.
Nice.
That's good to know. All right.
And at this point, it's getting to be about 4 in the afternoon.
I'll look at the dwarf.
And
How much is it gonna cost for Rolf to have a room here? For how long do you think it's gonna take us to finish up this thing with the box?
There's no idea. Like, it's
Yeah.
magic. It could
For a week.
3 gold.
Okay, fine.
We'll
What
feed him
else?
too.
Yeah.
All right, here's 30 gold.
What did you?
Alright, we'll give him drinks.
No.
No?
Food,
Mm-hmm.
place to stay,
Mm-hmm.
regular bath, and maybe some work around the inn to help pick
And
things
what
up and put them down.
makes you think that he's going to want to stay here? I mean, he's been out in the square for years, right?
I think he just goes wherever he's wanted, and no one's really paid attention. He's been more than happy to help us.
He's a good boy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If you want to pay me, I'll take your money. And I'll give him a place to I'll give him a place to stay, but I can't help him if he wanders off. He's a grown man, even if he is a bit of a child.
You're not wrong. We're just looking for someone to look out for him while we take care of other business.
Case in point, Rolf is over by the fireplace, like slowly reaching towards it and then pulling his hand back. And then slowly reaching towards it and getting closer and then pulling his hand back.
He's learning.
He just stares into the fire.
Ava has finished his hat
Okay.
and she goes over to on his head.
He'll take off his straw hat. He'll put his head down. His hair kind of like hangs in his face a little bit now. Put the beanie on. Does it have a poof?
Yes.
Nice.
This will keep your head warm.
He's like beaming, like ear to ear smile. And he'll take the hat, his straw hat, and he'll put it on your head.
Is it so big that it just?
Yeah, it's a
Does it
massive
smell
fucking
bad?
straw hat.
Oh god, I didn't.
Smells a
think
little
about that.
homeless, yeah.
Smells a little homeless.
Yeah.
I'll leave it on for a minute and then I'll take it off and
There you go. You put the thing on, and he covers his ears with it.
All right. Look at the dwarf watching. Give him 30 gold. Is the place still open? Let's go find this person, this fair child.
This Mokhtar Fairhands.
Yes.
You know, Akiko, I'm curious if you'll be able to get any of their names right, but we'll see.
Crickets.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'll try and go to the registrar and see if they know anything about Mokhtar Fairhands.
I go with it.
Oh, you're taking my place this time?
I mean, you guys could all go.
No, Will's gonna get drunk if Akiko's going.
Oh, okay.
This is a two-person job, Max.
Okay. What would Chud like to do?
I'm gonna sit next to Ralph and try my best to calmly explain to him that he has to stay here for the next couple of weeks until we come back.
Okay.
I mean, we don't even know if we're leaving anywhere yet.
So you guys get up from the table
Yeah, but it's good to get
and
it
start
out of
walking
way
towards the
early.
door. Rolf gets up, pats you, kind of tugs on you a little bit, makes his way towards the door,
Ralph.
looks back.
Look. Come here.
He'll come back over towards you.
Sit. Ralph.
He pats your shoulder.
Look.
You guys are out the door at this point, and he, like, points. Alright.
Stay here. Look.
I need you to make a grapple check.
16.
16. Okay. Let's see. Oh, he got a 16 too. He takes his arms and swoops them up underneath your arms, and he tries to pick you up, and your feet come up off of the ground before you like, hey, and wiggle, put your feet back down. And he tries to drag you towards the door.
Ralph.
Pulls.
Ralph.
He kind of like drops you, goes over to Quill,
Oh shit.
grabs your arm, pulls,
I'll
pulls,
come with. Okay.
pulls on you, pulls you towards the door, pats you on the back,
Nope.
and he points at Ava.
I think you're supposed to come with.
Oh, okay.
Chud, are you
And he
coming?
he's serious,
Chud,
and he's gonna go towards the door.
I'm not going.
you should probably just come with.
He goes out towards the door, and he looks back.
It's
He
okay.
makes this sad face,
It'll be okay, Rolf. We'll be here when we get back.
and waves at you.
He'll be here.
And then he grabs both of you and starts dragging you on like a quick pace after Akiko and Raphael.
I'll just kind of let him carry me.
I mean, he's basically
All right.
carrying me.
Yeah.
So,
Looks like we're catching up.
Behind you, you guys
Very
hear this
enthusiastic.
like
Yeah, he is.
fast paced like clomp, 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 clomp. And then behind you comes Rolf with Ava and a kind of confused yet curious looking Quill. Like, alright.
Yeah. Apparently we're coming with you guys. Rolf, he didn't like that you left.
This is gonna be-
He thumps Akiko, he catches up to you guys, he thumps you on the back and he points at the inn.
He's also unhappy that Chud stayed back.
I paid for you a room so that you can have food, the bath.
He grabs his hat, kind of touches the poof.
he has
You're the
very
one that
strong
wanted him.
opinions.
I don't know how to communicate with them. He's
Trust me, I know. I tried.
damaged. There's not much I can do.
Alright.
So he reaches into his pocket and he pulls out one of the silver pieces that you gave him. And he takes it and he boops you with it.
Aw.
Alright.
And he made a serious face.
Take him, and I'm like, we'll see you later. We're gonna go north to. What's that town's name again?
We're gonna go to Rollo?
Yep. Let's go.
You start walking away.
Yeah.
Okay. He digs his heels in and he pulls up the coin and he points at everybody with the coin and he touches his hat.
I don't know what to tell you, guy.
It doesn't work like that, Rolf. We returned something that was lost to you. We can't do that for ourselves because we haven't lost that. And I'm pretty sure none of this is getting through to you.
He's just looking at the coin.
Why does he want to touch you with the coin? I don't understand.
That's kind of a long.
Yeah, that's kind
It's
of.
not that long. We gave his soul back
Oh,
to
God.
him, and now he's following us around, and we want to help him get home.
He
There is a little more to it than that, but
Why
that's
did
pretty
you have
accurate.
the soul?
Because
Yeah,
some
time.
demon took it from him, and we gave it back.
I think he's trying to tell us that he wants to be healed. He thinks that we can heal him again. I think that's why he's touching the coin. I don't know.
I think he wants to heal us.
No.
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 Okay.
Nah, I'm pretty small.
If I try and search through his clothes, if he lets me, is there anything in there that's like a remnant of who he was, or anything that can help us figure out?
From toe to head, he is wearing sandals that are too small and are very worn out.
Yeah.
Clearly weren't his. Pants that are too small. A rope belt that looks like a piece of rope from down by the docks that's holding. It's more there to hold the pants together than to hold them onto him because they're pretty tight on him. The shirt comes down to where the pants meet up, but the arms are too short. He's not wearing any bracelets, any rings. The only distinguishing factor about him is that he's got different complexion than the locals, and that he has a massive scar on him. And he had a straw hat, but now he has a lovely yarn one.
What happens if I say temple? Nothing. That's
Pretty much the only word you guys have gotten any kind of reaction out of him with
Is
is
rain.
rain. Yeah.
I still think we should try and investigate this endless rain. The fact that Rolf knows that word specifically, I don't know. I feel like there's got to be some significance.
But we can't drag this guy around with us.
I don't think we have a choice anymore. I wasn't allowed to stay at the inn.
Because like I was dry and warm.
Yeah, I was dry.
And we could try the temple, but I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like similar to how we ended up with this box, we're kind of being forced into a burden whether or not we want to. Seems like our luck. I also like that I conveniently reference the box where you out of the room.
Dora character was still here.
Yeah, no, that's kind of, I wanted to mention that.
What color is the hat?
It is green,
Very nice, very nice.
like a nice forest green. But the little puff,
Yeah, he keeps playing with the
the
bill.
puff is white.
Oh, nice. That's like a snowball. He just kind of stands there in the rain.
We're all talking.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you guys are all standing around in the rain while you guys talk.
I'm at a loss. Akiko is at a complete loss. She wants to help this guy, but she has no idea what to do for him. The only thing she could think of was take him to the temple, but
I mean, let's.
people don't want to go to the temple
We can
because
I mean, it's gonna be dangerous for us potentially. Kalamor is not known for being kind to people who are not followers of Kalamor, especially if they feel that they're. But we can try. Like if something.
Kalmor is the one that has the sect of basically witch hunters, right?
Mhm.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
They are the chalice of good and light. Like the god is of, the sunlight and goodness god. But some people take that
To an extreme.
to an extreme. There are extremes in every group. There's always a radical.
So it's basically like the episode of Buffy where they all the parents get together to burn the witches, and they're like, it's like the PTA thing, and I've watched that.
PTA is gonna burn the witches.
Yeah, they're like, we should stay in touch after this. Absolutely.
And once you burn a
Also
witch, you
burn
get
the
the
witch.
Yeah.
I still feel like we should investigate the rain, but otherwise I
But,
don't really
I
have
mean-
much else to go on.
I was asking about stuff with that, but where would we start?
Yeah,
Again, we have
that would mean like maybe another trip to the temple.
we have three
still.
things in our lap. 4 if we count Ava's here.
Yeah, and her.
That we have no real idea on what to do.
I look at Rolf, look him in the eye.
He blinks real slow.
Is there anything in that head of yours that can point us in a direction that we can help you?
He punches your shoulder.
Well, he was healed at the temple. Maybe we could go to the harbor master and see if he has any idea on what ship
Honestly,
brought him in.
I don't see why even that would be even worth the effort. He needs a high level spell cast on him to restore his brain. The ship is not going to do it.
Rain.
We're not going to be able to do it without any money.
Yeah, because I don't know what. So I'm.
Because literally, like regeneration could do it,
That's basically it.
and like
Potentially greater
Wish.
restoration wish, or potentially greater restoration if the DM decides that that's something that it would fall under, but it's basically a 7th level cleric spell,
yeah.
and clerics don't get those till 13th level. So.
Of course, that's just from out of character.
Yeah, out of character knowledge.
Yeah.
Like, wow, Akiko got smart quick. So at this point, you guys have a missing son who's coming into town
In
potentially
3
in
days.
3 days. You have a 6'4" human puppy following you around.
Yep.
You have a coin for a Mokhtar Fairhands.
Yep.
And you have
Endless rain.
endless rain.
Yeah. And a puppy that responds to said rain.
Rain.
Yep.
Oh, just got to pick something, yeah?
So
At this point, you guys were on your way towards the auditors or to the Census
registrar.
Bureau, basically?
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
go do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess we're taking Rolf with us.
Yeah.
I think that he's taking some of us with him.
Yeah. I was gonna say I don't think I have say in this matter anymore.
Okay. So you guys make your way to the city hall, basically, and you go around to the side building. And it's the same kind of mousy guy that was there first time you went in. And he's like, "Oh, there's more of you now.
Yeah.
Well, what can I do for you?"
So I have a couple questions.
Okay.
Are there any Von Steens or Von Steins, however you want to say it, that live near the area?
No. It's not really a Venetian name. It stands
Yeah.
out a bit. No.
That's why I thought maybe you'd know, maybe it would be big.
Mhm.
And
Doesn't ring any bells.
have you heard of a Mokhtar Fairhands?
No. I mean, I don't want to stereotype, but it sounds orcish, except for the fair hands part. I don't really know any orcs in the area. I mean, there's plenty of humans.
All right.
Way to look up the name in the books. There's lots of books, right?
I'm pretty sure if the
I mean, I don't
clerk doesn't
know if there's any book to look that up in case they.
I mean, we have the card system. I mean,
Yeah.
we could look, but most of the names, I would say probably 98% of the names that are in here are Venetian.
Yeah, but I guess since we're here, if you don't mind,
Yeah,
couldn't hurt to
we can
look
look.
it up.
M's are over here. He'll go over and like pull out a little drawer. It's very Dewey Decimal System. And then he said, and then what was Von Stein? Von
Yeah.
Stein? Sure. Goes over, pulls that out.
All right.
Basically flip through the census and things like that. Only thing you find is there have been in the Von Steins, there was a townhouse that was owned by a Von Stein family about 75 years ago, as sort of it was an older person that lived there, and they passed away 3 years later. Property was sold. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
But that was for a Merle von Steen, and that was They were there for basically one census, and that was it. Underneath the Mokhtars, it goes from one M to the next. It doesn't stop at anything similar to a Mokhtar.
What about fair hands?
You look in the fair hands, and there is a fair. There is fair as a last name, but there is no fair hands. And fair has an E at the end.
Alright. Now this was basically a bust. I will say Merle out loud in case Rolf reacts, because I don't know.
He's kind of like opening the drawers, opening, closing, opening, closing. He takes his finger and closes it.
Alright, so on we go. Where's our next stop, do you think?
If you come across any of those though, you could bring back the records. Did you deliver the thing?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's excellent. Thank you for that.
I mean, their farmhouse had burned down, so
Oh,
but
that's horrible.
they got delivered.
Well, it will be reflected on the next census. Assuming they fill out their forms.
So, we had an encounter with orcs, speaking of houses burned down.
Yeah. At that person's farmhouse. And they were trying to, they had a drought. Their well dried up. That's why he sold his soul, or sold his child's soul, was so that they could get well water.
Oh, that was weird. That whole situation.
But I mean,
It was like,
Right. You've walked in some fucked up stuff.
So, do we go out and hunt for the orcs?
I mean, just so much as a hunt as we're looking for a specific one. Oh.
they,
you guys did fight a band of orcs.
yeah, northeast,
Yeah.
near the mountains. We could,
You've got some evidence still back at the inn.
Do we?
3 skulls, yeah. Hey, keeping trophies is cool. Plus, it's like a Rafiki stick.
Does anybody else have any other...
Like I said, unless we can look into the rain, but I don't know where to begin with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I would
Rain.
suggest a druid. They do nature stuff.
Well, yeah, I got nothing.
I mean, druids might know something about the rain.
Again, outside of town. When is your kid supposed to show up?
The ship is supposed to arrive within 3 days.
So we basically just need to be in town within 3 days.
Well, I need to be in town within 3 days.
That's true. I get this feeling that he's not gonna let us separate anymore.
Little smiles.
Yeah.
It's definitely determined.
Alright, let's go collect up our missing person.
Do we want to rest at the inn tonight? It is getting later and we're still, burying. We still haven't had a full rest since the sewers.
It's been a long day.
Let's go back to the inn.
Before we leave, would you like to ask the registrar anything about the rain, see if they have any information or no?
I mean, they probably don't know much more than the innkeep did, but sure.
Does anybody named Rain live in this town?
Rain.
No, seriously, I asked the
Oh.
guy.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. Do you have a last name?
Rain.
I mean, we could look, and he goes underneath the R's and he looks. It's alphabetized by last name, so
I mean, Rain could be a last name.
Rain could be a last name. I don't have any records for any last name.
Did you
Rains,
look under REIGN?
Ooh.
though. REIGN, yeah. We could look under rain. So he goes and he looks under rain.
It's clever though.
Akiko is a smart cookie.
If I say crown, prince, does anything pop up for roll? Does he say?
As for the rain itself, April 13th was the last sunny day that we had here. And then it rained. And it rained, and it rained, and it hasn't stopped raining.
Was there
And the wolf
anything?
says, rain.
Anything in particular or strange going on in town or the area at that time?
You seem to remember the date specifically, but that might also just be because you're a
I mean,
record
it's
keeper.
part of my job.
Yeah, that's.
So, like, was there any kind of festival of any kind of something that came in from out of town that seemed odd that you tracked?
We have a spring festival in May. It's usually like a, kind of get the season going kind of thing, kick off the warm part of the year. But it was raining for the festival, so we partied anyway. No, I just remember that it was a sunny day. That was the last day that we had full on, no rain, just sun. Kind of stands out once you start thinking about it,
Maybe we're thinking of this the wrong way. We're not trying to link the rain to Rolf and the injury. What if we're trying to link it?
What?
Take care of it outside. Link it to when the devil took his soul.
Fine.
It's our important business.
I mean,
Not necessarily to the injury, but to when he actually got caught out of his soul, however that happened.
It's
so
an
on
interesting theory.
at the start of the rainy season,
Yeah, I mean, he's asking for rain. Maybe they.
I don't think it's so much
Rain.
that he's asking.
Yeah, but it's the
Yeah.
only word that he's reacting to.
True, very true.
And the only thing that ties him to everything that we've already been doing is the soul.
yeah. But he doesn't react to sun at all. Soul.
No, it's still just rain.
Yep.
They kind of like,
Do you like the rain?
rain.
No, we're not getting anywhere with that.
Yeah. The rain in Venetia falls mainly on the plain.
Rain. And he like pats you.
Uh,
I guess we can make our way back to the inn and beat ourselves up throughout the night trying to figure this out.
what you do in your
He's gonna beat himself thinking about rain.
Beat yourself up, but alright.
Just beat it.
Just
So we can get back to the inn.
Yes.
Register is a bust.
And
Do you need to do any shopping before we go out hunting for orcs?
No, I am 100% A-okay.
Gordy says, you want your coin back?
Yeah.
There you go. I didn't figure that would work.
I also didn't expect to be carried. That was... How often does that happen to you?
Not often. Other gnomes don't really carry other gnomes. It's rather rude.
Okay, I was gonna say, so it was just as weird for you then.
It was a little unnerving.
So you need any new weapons, new
I
armor,
like the ground being that far away from me.
food. Anybody need any equipment
Probably the
before
ground
so they
in
can
certain
leave
places.
early in the morning?
I will go to
Last
the
time we were in
market
the
and see
sewers, I
if
climbed on the
rations
walls the
so I
whole
can
time.
buy 10 days worth of
Smart.
rations.
Did you find yourself in the sewer to
You
war?
could get some ready for
Heart
you.
attack or
No, but we did when we were...
You want just salted meats?
salted pork
some hard
or
breads.
something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe some crackers.
That put together for you in the morning then. How much?
Uh,
You know,
Also,
Everyone? Just you?
Yeah, everybody. Also, we need a local map, detailed. We need to know kind of trade routes, unauthorized and authorized to the mountains.
Well, I can get you a map, but as far as trade routes, you'd have to go down to probably to the commerce center, and they can help you with that.
Okay.
As for
You probably don't need that.
registered ones, that's not my area of expertise.
If we're looking for orcs, we need to find out where they're going to be raiding.
You know they're gonna.
Oh, they don't. I don't think they plan that in advance.
Well, I know,
Oh,
but
okay.
if they're raiding caravans or merchants,
Well,
we,
Well,
you
we know
dealt
they-
with orcs up north, yeah?
Yeah, well, you already know they raid farmhouses up there. Like that's basically.
Most of our trade comes by sea, so it wouldn't have much in the way of land caravans. Pirate orcs.
never mind.
Orcs.
But I can get you a map and I can get you your rations.
No, that's fine.
Why are you like this, cat? So, you guys are staying in for the night then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like it's too late to really travel. Plus, you know, I still I'm down a lot of spell slots and stuff. So.
Fine.
Of course the Warlock's fine. So you guys all have separate rooms here. And you guys just hang out in the common room until bedtime and mosey off?
Probably complain about not being able to figure out anything out of all of these ridiculous amount of clues, considering how successful we've been the last week or so. Otherwise, no, I got nothing.
Okay. Marley comes out, offers to bring you guys drinks, but other than that, you guys wind out a quiet evening at the inn. In the morning
Just start
dawns.
another knitting project.
Just start on a new project, yeah, okay. So in the morning, bright and early, Akiko wakes up to go do her morning stretches.
How much
Morning
HP?
exercise.
Yeah?
How
Knock
much
on
does
her
my
door.
max HP go down by?
Loudly.
Yes, I think it's two.
per day.
Let's go exercise.
And you don't heal without magic.
Okay.
So,
Does not know
so
how to
you're not
say
gonna
that
recover
to
any
you.
hit points.
Luckily, I wasn't missing any, but that is
Go
good to
spend an
know.
hour exercising.
Oh god.
And Quill does not warn you that this is a regular routine.
Rolf will join you, and he tries to copy everything that you do. And he does, very well, but much bigger. If you try and lift something, he's gonna find something just as big to lift. He wants to help.
I would say that Quill shows up a little bit later than normal. Nothing too out of place, but he definitely didn't wake up as early as he normally does.
Okay, yeah, you are feeling haggard.
Yeah.
You didn't even drink last night. What is this?
A little, but not enough to feel this bad.
Yeah.
The other reason we needed to go to
Yeah. But I don't know any better yet.
Yeah, he has no idea.
Yeah.
So you want to call it there for tonight then?
I think that we will. We have a set plan of you guys are gonna head out towards the north.
I mean,
Yeah.
unless something happens, we're just kind of spitballing.
Yeah,
Like,
we
don't-
are.